Imagine you are rich. Not celebrity rich. Not hedge fund rich. Not even tech company billionaire rich. Imagine being so rich that you could destabilize entire economies just because you went on a trip. Imagine being so rich that you could afford to have a caravan following you thousands of people long. Pretty cool, right? You may be wondering, who could be this wealthy? Well, his name is Mansa Musa. Before I get into this video, I do want to address the fact that some people think Genghis Khan and Julius Caesar are worth more money than Mansa Musa. But most people disagree with that theory anyway. With that said, let's get into the video. Why was Mansa Musa so rich? Well, before I can tell you that, we have to go over who Mansa Musa was. Mansa Musa was the 10th Mansa, or king, of the Mali Empire in West Africa. He is said to be the grandson of the famous Sundiata, but that's a story for another time. Mansa Musa was a Muslim, and during his rule, he would grow Islam significantly in West Africa. Now that we've covered who Mansa Musa was, let's go over why he was so dang rich. Well, Mali was already pretty rich when he became ruler. They were already trading a lot with other countries, but Mansa Musa wanted to expand and make even more money for his empire. His actions would make Mali one of the richest places in Africa. He worked on expanding trade with other countries like Egypt. He also mined tons of salt and gold from his empire's lands. He even became rich from ivory. But with Mansa Musa, the interesting part isn't how he earned his money, it's how he spent his money. He spent the equivalent of billions building Islamic cultural centers, temples, and schools. He also used his money for conquests, which I'll talk about later, but he is most famous for his pilgrimage to Mecca. Brief religious lesson. For those of you who don't know, Mecca in Saudi Arabia is a very holy site for Muslims. In every Muslim person's life, they try to go to Mecca at least once, to visit the city where they believe Muhammad received revelation from Allah. And nowadays, going there is pretty simple. You just buy a plane ticket to Mecca. But in the 1300s, during the reign of Mansa Musa, it wasn't so simple. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage was huge. Before leaving for Mecca, hundreds of villages created materials for the journey. Thousands of men and slaves were readied, and tens of thousands of pounds of gold and salt were prepared. They basically built a portable kingdom for his journey. By the time the pilgrimage caravan was ready, it consisted of 60,000 men. At that point, like I said before, you pretty much have a walking kingdom. But even crazier is the fact that he carried 30,000 pounds of gold on his caravan just for one trip. Now that's pretty amazing to me. You may still be wondering why his pilgrimage was so famous. Well, I'll tell you. Many things happened when Mansa Musa went to Cairo on his way to Mecca. He almost started a diplomatic crisis when he refused to bow down to the Sultan. But he was more well known to the people of Cairo for his generosity. He gave away thousands of pounds of gold to the impoverished people of Cairo. He also bought goods from them. Well, this looked great and made Mansa Musa very famous for his generosity, but there was a problem. Basic economics tells you that the more of something there is, the less valuable it becomes. And this was the case with gold. Mansa Musa destroyed Egypt's entire economy just from the sheer amount of gold he gave away to the people. Now that's what I call rich. He also used the pilgrimage to conquer a bunch of lands in modern-day Niger and Mauritania. Stories of Mansa Musa and his wealth spread around the world. And in 1375, he was drawn in the Catalan Atlas, a map that was created by Spanish cartographers. This was the first time a West African king was on a European map. That's how famous Mansa Musa was. He made West Africa a place admired by the world. By the end of his life, Mansa Musa was worth the equivalent of $400 billion in today's money. And who knows, maybe someday you'll make that much. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please share it with friends, and as always, make sure to have a great day.